Hello, good morning. This is Denny Krismandala Bhakti, and in this presentation, I will explain about my thesis proposal, which is entitled The Analysis of the Main Character Mental Disorder on Todd Phillips' movie Joker using Psychoanalytic Theory. Abstract. This thesis of study is to analyze the behavior of the main character in a movie entitled Joker 2019, directed by Todd Phillips, who's suffering with mental disorder and is going to be analyzed using the psychoanalysis theory by Sigmund Freud. In this research, the writer will took the main character from the Joker movie named Arthur Fleck. He's a person who suffered from the post-traumatic stress disorder, pseudo laughter, and schizophrenia. After experiencing a traumatic event, and the writer is also interested on how his mental disorder affecting his behavior in the society. The writer are going to analyze the mental disorder issue that the main character is having issues with the theory that's been selected in order to give clear explanation what is the cause of his PTSD and schizophrenia and how his mental disorders such as PTSD and schizophrenia affecting his personality and eventually adapting his Joker persona. Okay, the introduction. Each individual must have past occasion in their life, whether it's good memories or a trauma. Human life must have experienced occasion that may harm their profoundly into their complete personality structure, so that it makes somebody experiences a traumatic occasion. For example, the repulsive involvement seems to make somebody frightened, like scared to go to the dentist, or even traumatic experiences are able to influence the person's mental condition so that the patterns of their behavior could change completely. Mental illness can also be shaped by mental injury, such as injury when happened as a child, a serious loss, such as the loss of a parent. The environmental stress could also contribute a factor on creating somebody gets mental illness, such as death of someone very close, a broken family, a use of chemical substance, and a divorce might trigger a clutter in an individual who may be at the risk for developing the mental illness. Moving on to the statement of problems. The writer starts to this research because the writer is very interested in how someone with mental illness like Arthur Fleck having a social interaction with the society and how the society perceives it. This research has three questions as follow. First, what are the characteristics of the mental disorder shown in this movie? Second one, what causes Arthur Fleck mental illness? Third one is how the mental illness affects Arthur Fleck on becoming and adapting his job. Moving on, goals and function. Goals, the study has several goals, which basically to answer movie. Second one is to fix the mental illness on the main character, Arthur. Third one is to answer about the mental illness Arthur have on adapting his Joker person. The function of this research are to elaborate and to analyze how the mental illness affecting the main character on adapting his Joker persona. The second one is to find out and more to give explanation about what causes the main character on developing the mental illness shown in the Joker book. Moving on to the state of the art. Before the writer start doing this research study, the writer conduct a research of the previous research study, and the writer found Two previous research. The first one is the meaning of the psychopathic attitudes of the Joker as seen in Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight movie, script by Arnoldo Rico Redinta in 2017. The second previous research are the motive influencing the main character in establishing Fight Club, an underground boxing club, as seen in Chuck Palahniuk Fight Club by Francisco Hario Triaji in 2007. Chapter 2. We're moving on the theoretical background. The writer are gonna use intrinsic element. In almost every literary work, intrinsic element has the most important function that cannot be replaced. Usually, before the writer wants to start analyze the literary work, the writer should know what the intrinsic element in the literary work is. So in this movie, the writer are gonna analyze the characterization, and the settings. The character in this movie is Arthur Fleck, who's mentally ill person who is being rejected at the society for being mentally ill. Characterization is Todd Phillips, the director, used an indirect presentation to reflect Arthur Fleck personality in this movie. The setting. The setting is the place and time where is the movie takes place. In this movie, it takes place on fictional DC comic cities called Gotham City in early 1800. Moving on to the theory. The theory that will be used is psychoanalysis by Sigmund Freud. There are a lot of different theories related to the psychoanalysis, and for this research, the writer will be using one specific theory, which is psychoanalysis theory by Sigmund Freud. Second one, mental disorder. In this movie, we are going to analyze the mental disorder that is shown in this movie by the main character Arthur. So, mental disorder an is a psychological syndrome or pattern which is associated with distress, disability, and increased significant loss of autonomy. However, in this movie, we are going to analyze three specific mental disorders, which is the first one is PTSD, second one is schizophrenia, and third one is pseudobulbar effect or pseudobulbar laughter. Moving on to the chapter 3, the research method on this chapter of the analysis. The writer will explain how to obtain the data and how to analyze them for this research. And the writer will discuss about all of the steps, methods, form which is being used for the observation and the analysis step of the study. Research design. On this research study, the writer will do the research on Arthur Fleck, the main character in Joker movie, by describing the facts to find the data and analyze to be compared. The writer is going to use qualitative type of the research method, but also using descriptive and formal methods. The writer also use transcript and screenshot to help writer to support the finding of the result. The writer will also apply the psychoanalysis theory to answer the problem formulation. Data materials. The media used in this movie is Joker 2019, distributed by Warner Bros. And being directed by Todd Phillips. This movie is perfect for this research. The reason for that is because this movie has the main character. In this context is Arthur Fleck. This main character suffers from mental disorder and is being forgot by the society. And in this movie we can see the development of his character and also his mental disorder affecting his personalities. Moving on to the data collection procedure. There are a few steps of the data collection. The first is the writer will find a topic which is attracted the writer attention. That will be the psychoanalysis theory and mental disorder. And then the writer will also try to find the media which is related to the topic. We got the media, which is the Joker 2019. After that, the writer will watch the media several times. The next step is to find out the related things that the writer will be focused. The next step is providing the screenshot, some of the scene in the movie, which will be support the analysis. The last thing is the writer will find a theory that is related to the topic of the research. In this case, it's psychoanalysis theory by Sigmund Freud. And then the writer will compile of the screenshot and the dialogue from the movie and begin to analyze them further. This is the chart of the data collection, data analysis. After obtaining the data which will be related to the theories that will be used, the next step is analyzing and collecting the data. The behavior of the Arthur Fleck, the main character in Joker 2019 movie, will be observed and analyzed further. The literature element in this movie, such as character, plot, and setting, will also be observed in the study. The movie will also be analyzed using extrinsic element, which is using psychological trauma and psychoanalysis theory by Sigmund Freud. The results of the study will be concluded after all of the data is being observed and analyzed. This is the chart of the data analysis. Thank you for your attention. That is my thesis proposal presentation. Thank you, ma'am.